When did Darth Vader know he wanted to train Luke and betray the Emperor? Darth Vader wanted to kill Luke Skywalker, at first. That's the only thing that was on his mind after the pilot destroyed the Death Star and crippled the Empire. He wanted revenge. He wanted to find the boy who was able to take down a ship that took 20 years to build. But then something happened. Vader experienced something that would change both his and Luke's life forever. Instead of killing the rebel pilot who had destroyed the Death Star, he would find him and train him. Why did he change his mind? The truth is in a small moment that happened during the skirmish on a small Imperial manufacturing planet called Simoon 1. While there, Darth Vader came face to face with Luke for the first time since the boy fired a proton torpedo into the very heart of the Death Star. In the midst of their duel, Vader was able to disarm Luke and take his lightsaber. He took a moment to look the weapon over and noticed that this was his lightsaber. The very one that he used during the Clone Wars, and the one that he had lost to his former master, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Why did Luke possess it? Why did Obi-Wan pass this relic down to him? Lightsabers were rare, sure, but Obi-Wan could have found another lightsaber to pass on to Luke. He didn't need to give Anakin's weapon to the boy. There must have been a reason. What was it? Vader couldn't find the reason, but the thought continued to tug at his senses. Throughout the rest of the skirmish, Vader continued to study the boy. Instead of moving in for a killing strike, he stood still, often finding himself stationary in the middle of a barrage of blaster fire. He was watching Luke. What was so special about this boy that Obi-Wan decided to take him under his wing? As Luke battled through waves of stormtroopers and showed off his deft ability on a speeder bike, Darth Vader started to connect more and more dots. Surely he saw in the boy the makings of a fine Force wielder and potential Jedi. But the way the boy navigated on that vehicle must have also reminded Vader of his youth as a pilot and a pod racer. He couldn't quite formulate his suspicion into a conscious thought, or perhaps he was too afraid to even think it. But Vader was on the doorsteps of a revelation, that this boy was his heir, another Skywalker and a son he had long thought dead. Darth Vader continued to apprehend Luke, chasing him around the facility on his own weaponized speeder, but eventually Luke escaped. Still not sure about his emotions, Vader couldn't put his suspicions into words. Instead, he knew one thing. This boy was strong in the Force. Vader was convinced that Obi-Wan thought this boy would be a new hope, the one to bring balance to the Force and defeat the reign of the Sith Lord, Darth Sidious. In that moment, remembering his hatred for his fallen master, Kenobi, Vader vowed to find Luke, capture him, turn him to the dark side, and train him in the ways of the Force. He would never let Kenobi's dying will that Luke become the bringer of balance to the Force, like his father Anakin had failed to be, come to fruition. But perhaps it was more than that. In fact, it probably was. In the subsequent weeks, Vader would follow his suspicion, going to his home planet of Tatooine and discovering exactly what Obi-Wan was doing on the planet, and the last name of the boy he was protecting.